The following is an overview of some of the most important elements of our company safety program. The purpose is to impress upon you that safety is everyone's responsibility. You have an important part to play in keeping yourself safe and injury-free. Because when someone has an accident, we all feel the effects and suffer. So safety comes first. Employees must realize that doing their job safely is the most important thing. After all, a job done safely means higher quality, and higher quality means profitability. And that's why we want you to do every job at a pace that gets the job done right the first time without anyone getting hurt in the process. The goal is no accidents. So let's define an accident. An accident is an unexpected incident with negative consequences, and usually with unexpected costs. Damaged equipment, injury, lost productivity. So you are the most important component in this. All of our employees must recognize that you're our most valuable commodity. After all, you were selected to work for us because you possess certain skills that we need. We care about you, and we don't want to lose you, even for a day. Remember, if one of us gets hurt, we all suffer and feel the effects. So let's take a look at some of the key components of our safety program. We're going to discuss 5 things: rules and regulations, inspections, training, chemical hazards, and accident investigations. Now, why do accidents happen? Accidents happen because someone does something that they shouldn't do or doesn't do something that they should. Something that they shouldn't do might be that they operate equipment that they shouldn't. And something that you don't do that you should would be like they failed to put on proper PPE for the task, like maybe safety glasses. In essence, they break the rules. And let's talk about those rules. We have certain rules about attire, drug and alcohol use, reporting injuries, reporting unsafe conditions. Let's look at proper attire for a moment. Always wear clothing that's appropriate for the task that you're performing. It involves proper shoes, the proper shirts, pants without baggy pockets, no loose-fitting articles. What about personal protective equipment? Some tasks require specific gear. For example, safety glasses or hearing protection or perhaps gloves. And we have to consider drug and alcohol use. You see, even a slightly impaired worker is an increased danger to themselves and their co-workers. And being under the influence of alcohol or controlled substances while at work is against company policy. Be sure to report injuries. If you're injured, even slightly, please inform your supervisor as soon as possible. Your injury may not need treatment today, but there's always the potential that it could get worse over time, and we'd want to have a record of it. Report on any unsafe conditions that you see. This is a simple rule. If you see a hazard or something that's wrong, fix it if you can, or immediately tell someone who can fix it. Don't walk away. Have someone stay by the hazard until you return. You wouldn't just want to leave a spill on the floor while you run away and get a mop, because the next person may come along and slip on it. So have someone stay there until you get back. Our next section is inspections, and there are basically 2 types of inspections: a daily visual inspection and a periodic and documented inspection. Now, the daily visual inspections, those are performed by management and all employees. That's right, all employees. At the beginning of each shift and throughout the day, you need to be on the lookout for any unsafe conditions and then fix them or report them. Those periodic inspections, those are performed by a designated person who inspects specific conditions and locations within the workplace. They'll be looking at things such as emergency exits and fire extinguishers, first aid kits, and aisles and walkways to make sure that they're clear. This inspection is documented and then retained. You will be asked to attend safety training sessions periodically. So please, take these training sessions seriously. After all, your health and well-being, as well as that of your coworkers, is at stake. Now, OSHA requires that employers retrain employees if you demonstrate a lack of understanding or do not comply with rules and regulations. So, if you have an accident, chances are you failed to follow an established procedure or maybe safety protocols. Remember, accidents happen because people do things they shouldn't do or don't do things that they should. So, in the event of an accident, you will likely be retrained. And if you broke a rule or violated a company policy, you may even be terminated. Next is hazard communication. You have a right to know about the chemicals that you work with here in the workplace. To ensure this, OSHA came up with what they call the HAZCOM standard, which addresses chemicals in the workplace. All chemicals must be in a container that clearly identifies the product inside. For each chemical, there should be a corresponding Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS. Now, every chemical we use has an MSDS, and they're kept in a binder that's clearly marked MSDS, a yellow binder, Material Safety Data Sheets. An MSDS tells you important things about a chemical, such as what to do if you get it in your eyes, or how to clean up spills, or what personal protective equipment you need to wear when you're handling that particular product. Remember, you have a role to play in this program. Make sure every container you work with has a label, and never transfer a product from one container to another without clearly marking the new container with what's inside. Secondly, if you spill something or you discover a spill, clean it up or tell someone who can. Our last component today is accident investigations. In the event that there's an accident, your supervisor will perform an accident investigation, and you may play a role in the investigation, either as an involved party or even as a witness. So please cooperate with your supervisor, because it's important that they gather as much information as possible. Because the purpose of the investigation is to find out what actions led up to and then caused the accident. We're not trying to find out who is to blame. The object is to find out exactly why the accident happened so that we can take measures to prevent it from ever happening again. So, remember a few things about this safety orientation. Most accidents happen because someone does something that they shouldn't do or doesn't do something that they should do. If you see a hazard or an unsafe condition, do something about it immediately. Either correct it yourself or tell someone who can. So remember, hazards are everywhere. Be aware of your surroundings and don't leave hazards unattended. Fix it or find someone who can. Remember, we want you to work at a pace that gets the job done right the first time without anyone getting hurt in the process. And that means no mistakes, no rework, no accidents, and no injuries. Safety, as I said, it's everyone's responsibility.